Hi, I'm Sarah, and I come from Ireland, and I'm an area dance artist and an actress, a performer.
I'm Pau Pascual, I'm from Mallorca, and I'm a textual actor, also playwright and director, both from cinema and theater.
Hello, I'm Pauline. I come from France. I am both an actress, circus artist, and dramaturge.
I'm Aldo from Sicily, and I'm a musician and sound artist.
I am Marta from Tenerife. I am an actor, playwright, and director of theater and also cinema.
I'm Antonia. I come from Croatia, and I'm an architect and a circus artist.
Hi, I'm Camilla. I'm Italian living in Denmark, and I'm a dancer, choreographer, and an artist in general.
We are all part of a project called Island Connect, and our project is called Co-Creation, and one of each of us came from a different island, all the islands we just said, and we met in Tenerife, and in Tenerife we had a lot of creative sessions to discuss what we were doing, and then this was the first time we met again after all the sessions in Tenerife, and we've co-created a little something.
The whole core idea of the project is that seven different artists that are involved with different disciplines and different artistical directions work around the same subject, let's say. And the subject was kind of derived from the meetings that we had in Tenerife.
Well, we were starting from an idea that was to create something related with the mycelium, which are those roots from mushrooms that you cannot really see, but that spread all around a full forest. So we were doing this metaphor between the mycelium and a way to express, an invisible way to express in an artistic way, in a non-conventional way.
We have connected this mycelium with a lot of different, it was a metaphor for a lot of different things. For example, it was a metaphor for the resilience or for interconnections or for invisible strings and so on, but all of that connected kind of with the thematics of the island and the differences between what is presented and what is actually existing on the places, in the places where we live or where we are from.
We observed a lot the island. We went a lot, in general, like the streets of C.IN.E, and we did some side, like specific experiences. And we analyzed the environment we were in a lot, and that resulted in some artistic expressions and exercises that each of us presented to the group. And now we are trying to collect some details from each exercise and put it together that it kind of makes sense and connects well with the thematic as well.
Following the philosophy and the idea of the co-creation, we are working on the relationship between the individual and the group and how it can work in collaboration or in opposition and how it can give birth to different dynamics.
And I think we are as well working as much on the method and like an experimentation artistic method than on a final product. And it was also our collective wish to we are trying to build a collective protocol on how to link each other to the city, to the group, to create new paths and connection. And this matters a lot to us.
And also it's very important that we all have our own background, so all of us tries to put an input of our own background So Pao brought like the projections, the recording. Aldo does a lot of sounds and music. So it's very interesting to see how each individual brought something to the table, and we all were open to play with it, and we took it. So it was very cool to get to know each other in an artistic way as well.
For me, it's also super interesting or super nice that we did both outdoor and indoor experiences at the same time, which I think is very valuable in terms of first, we didn't just put ourselves in C.IN.E and worked on a subject like very closely, but we let ourselves to explore completely the outdoors in a certain method and in a certain way, and we allowed this work outdoors to influence the indoor work. And this is maybe very appreciated, and maybe for me something very new that I learned, how to transfer the experience or the essence of the experience from the outdoor to the indoor and from the indoor to the outdoor. Maybe something that before I was not aware that is possible. It was very divided in my own world before.
And how is it to work with someone that you knew before, you didn't know before, and because you come from seven different places and you didn't meet before the starting of this project? How about that?
For me, it's an excellent experience to meet other people and other ways to think in artistic ways and for, of course, for share.
I think it's a good way to question our own method and our own way of thinking about things and creating, and also it's difficult, it's a challenge, but it gives rise to a new method, which is not, it's neither the one that I have, neither the one of each of us. It's just a new thing that is born from everyone putting something in.
It's also very good experience to learn how to share, explain the idea to someone, because we all have different thoughts, different ideas and so on, but when you want to share it in the artistic way among 7 people that think differently, you need to focus to find a way how to express it in order to tell it properly and still leave the open space for the evolvement of the idea. So it's like a good method. I think it's a good learning process for each one of us, I would say.
I would just add to that when you are getting involved in an artistic project, you usually have to stick a lot to tight tempos and to tight structures. Island Connect is giving us the opportunity to just have enough space for creating experimentation, and it's just a matter of be really communicative between all of us and giving us the space of a part of the artistic expression to organize in a way that fits for all of us.
Yeah. It's also, from my own experience, it's so beautiful how to see like 7 total strangers meeting up in a room with 7 totally different like points of view, and how these 7 people were able, like we were able to create something together from the respect and from the openness that we all have. Because it wasn't not even a moment that we all were like, someone was like, no, that's not, no, it was always like if we were not like agreeing with the idea, we will say it from the respect and from the love that we have for the art we all do. Because we all were working towards the same, like goal. So it's just so beautiful to see how we didn't know each other. We've only been together, maybe now it's like, 10 days? And like in 10 days we've created something, and in 10 days I feel I can say whatever I want in this group, and I know we are all gonna laugh when we are all gonna it's just so beautiful to feel that we are all like friends. There's like respect and openness within the group.
It is this moment of stepping back for respect and not for any other reason.
Yeah.
But also the importance of mediator is, I think, the role of a mediator, like in between 7 people, to have one outside person is super important.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like keeping in track with anything is just not possible. Because it takes time to evolve. For example, if we would have like 3 months, just like the 7 people, yes, of course, but even to a monkey, if you give the infinitive time, he will make something, you know? So it's very important to have this mediator that gives a bit of structure to things happening. I think it's a good role for every
Definitely.
co-creation moment, let's say. I don't know if you would agree.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Roberto and Miguel kept us
Yes.
on track of what we were doing, because otherwise we drift away. We go shopping in our heads, so it's important to have someone being like, okay, we're doing this.
Also because we are trying and we're doing it little by little, but we don't have yet a common method. So we are not able to structure collectively our own collective time.
Yeah.
I would say that we have developed already some internal dynamics that help us when it's time to create, but we don't have yet the method.
Yeah, we will.
We will. We are on our way.
Working.
We're looking for a name for the collective.
And more money and residency places.
Please say it loud.
If you want to finance us, you can call the
Do you have an island? Do you have a residency space? Do you have money for 7 people? Let's go!
We don't need much.
Actually, we need a lot, but it's okay. We can
We can fit. We can fit.
We can fit.
A lot.
A lot.
I mean local and global, because I think what we were doing constantly is like to move in between local and global picture, and this is something that is driving our work also, like this movement in between the local picture and what we take from the local context, and how do we apply it to our actually global context, and then how do we translate this to the artistic work that we are doing. This is basically the subject of what we have been doing BL for the whole time.
And this is also where the selection process of Island Connect has a great meaning, because we also had, even if each island and each territory has its own identity, history, cultural dynamics, we also come from very different places, but places that may have subjects in common. And it also helped us, I think, connecting to one another and building this dynamic relationship between local and global, and like intimate things and more universal things.
And also, sorry.
No, but always from a critical point of view and not generalize, like trying to be also respectful of the singularity of the places we are in.
And also, I mean, in the project are involved 7 islands, and in the group there is, and we do the residencies in one of the 7 islands, so there is always one people that acts as a translator between us and the places where we do our residency. In the case of Tenerife, for example, we had Marta, and now here in Mallorca, of course, Pau is our knowledgeable, yes.
Pau and Bien.
But also, I don't know if we shared, at a certain point, we shared our, let's say, application for the Island Connect, like what we applied with, like, because the subject was dissollarity, and then we all had to write a certain text about it, or to refer somehow to it, right? So we shared that at some point, but to be honest, like, I have no idea what each of us was thinking, and watching from my point of view, like, I constantly I was constantly feeling that it's very away from what I started with, but now at the end of the process, like I can easily go back to it and refer very much to it. So also from this point of view, I think it's very nice. I don't know how you guys feel, but this is from my point of view.
Yes. And I'm quite happy that we are starting from the local context to get inspirations for our work and not the opposite way, or like going outside later on, you know, in the process. But it's very much about going out and taking inspiration and then working on what we found. And I found it very inspiring because we were thinking of how we can keep this as a method to go in other islands and make the same investigation with the same method, working on different local contexts. And this can be applied and can be worked on again and again and again. And for me, it's the power, like the power of this creation that we are making, that we can work again with different.
In fact, I would say that from this experimentation and investigation around the local idiosyncrasy makes us find a common point between all the islands we all are coming from. So we could be talking about an archetype of a way to express or a way to live in the islands. So I think it's like a really common situation that we observe certain things in C.IN.E, and then each one of us is saying, in my place it works exactly or in a similar way. So it's what it's happening all the time.
I think it's very, very important that if we ever go to another island, that we do what we did in this island. Like we went out like 2-3 times, and we got to see a lot of things that maybe if that wouldn't been organized, we wouldn't been able to see it in the way that we saw it to get inspired. So I think it's very, very important wherever the island like is hosting the residency, that they have someone that guides activities outdoors, so you get to see the real world and not only the world you are sharing in here in the creative space.
What's your favorite color? Can you repeat?
We already answered this one.
Yes.
How is our project linked to insularity?
Every dynamic we are trying is connected to the challenges that like a person living in the island is facing, the relation to space, to the territory, and to the like people living the island, visiting the island, going in and out, and who stays, what effect it brings to the one who stays, and to the territory as well. So we work a lot with this dynamic of space, people, and movement of people, and
Power and abuse of the power.
and the relationships between these. So for me, this is a lot about insularity, because people come here especially because this is a touristic place, it's a place that has a lot of interest in terms of like attractions and economic dynamics, but it's because it's in a very surrounded and isolated territory, you know, and this dynamic can be faced in different places, but not as in an island. That is, it's everything. Like for me, being from an island and living in an island, everything is like 10,000 more. And like the effects that everything has, like for example, tourism or the the ecological disturbance of the territory. It's like everything is 10 times more, because it's a very isolated and special territory.
Maybe I'm the only one not from the island, but I'm from Split, which is the same. in a touristic way. But I would say if I have to wrap it up, or what she said about insularity, I would say the more exposed, the more everything there is, the bigger the rate of insularity is. So there's a huge contrast, like, and this is, I think, something that we kind of worked on, like, the more everything there is, like, the bigger it gets, the more tourists, the more this, the more that, the more chaos, the more this insularity, it becomes bigger and more evident. And this is something that we have been working about, that is very global.
Can you imagine a following step if you would have another week in another alliance? Can you imagine this following step? Is because you talk about it, but it was very general, and maybe it would be nice for the other partners to know from where you are now, which would be the following part to work to.
So as we are approaching to the end of this residence, it starts to be a question in our free time. How could we, in which manner could we find a way to keep working on the things we are working on now? Because we are running out of time, and for sure we are needed of a space and of a time for keep creating. Sarah said just now that we have been sharing 10 days. So if we want to keep following with the project, and I think there's a lot of material to work with. Of course, we need some other space and some other island with an artistic and sensible vision to the idiosyncrasy of the place to keep working.
Yeah.
I think just I was thinking in this moment it might be nice to do another residency in an island that is not Spanish, for example.
Yes.
Or that is a Nordic island, so that we can actually see what they have in common and what are the big differences.
I think now we maybe start to have a working protocol and a method also on how we investigate the places.
Yeah.
It would be very interesting to make a kind of comparative work with, like, going deeper into what we have done here and comparing with another island, as you just said.
Yeah.
And maybe make a new show out of it, but we don't have one yet, but it would be a nice dynamic.
Yeah, because we were working on so many inputs and so many exercises and experiences, and it would be just nice to keep going with this, because we didn't really like, oh, now we have a product, or like now we have some sort of like fixed point we can extend and work on. It just I personally feel we need more time to keep on going and really make things more clear. And till now, it's been just a beautiful process. But for me, just the beginning, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, as the first day, like when we discussed with Roberto, like what he said was it stick to my mind. It was like for this very unconventional working method, for this very unconventional situation, we need very unconventional method, and we will end up in a very unconventional product, let's say. And I think we are in a good direction of this. Yeah.
And I also think if we will have more time and more space and all of that, we could actually really delve into each person's art form. Because I feel for this one, we knew we only had like 5 days to put something, not to put something together to share, but like definitely to go into a direction we need to go to keep working. So I really feel if we'll have more time, we could actually really like combine everybody's brains into a final product. Because I feel we are maybe like in the 3%, and we have a lot to give and to explore. And I think we have very cool methods. It's not because they fast, but like we do, like, and every time we share, like in our free time, we share a lot of things that we do in our day by day, and it's so cool to hear what everybody does, but we haven't had yet the experience to see it in person all together. We've just seen
Yeah, tiny bit of it.
We are always in this project. We are talking about big words every time. We are talking about
very deep.
power, to abuse of abuse of power, to resistance, resilience, to massification, insularity, isolation. So for these big words, I think we need big spaces of big
Time.
big time.
Too deep and
Big
to
money.
and to put this big money. I was thinking the powerful of the co-creation is a start to appear, and for me we need more time to change to use the powerful of arts to change the realities.